When I did my introductory talk, I mentioned about us realizing the reasons that led us to the war, which among them was, in fact, the presence of diamond. To us, it was a cause during a time because of poor management. However, what the government, successive governments have done is to ensure that we do what is referred to as the certification system. I know you all know about the Kimberley process, wherein diamonds are certified before they are being exported. That is one way. And two, there is this issue of corruption, because that is one thing that leads to the way the diamond business was being handled. Smuggling, corruption by high-placed officials in the industry. The government has ensured that it put up strong anti-corruption measures to address the issue of corruption in that regard. The diamond mining is being really controlled. Business people that's going to the diamond mining area are now faced with a sort of a system that encourages them more to be transparent in their dealing in the trade. Because when you had a system that was more of a suppressing one or a policing one, business people tend to go underground. But when you allow the atmosphere or the environment to be at par with your neighbors, there is no need for them to smuggle, there is no need for them to do dubious things. I think to a very large extent it's been controlled now. And the government is realizing there is a big rise in revenue generated from the diamond industry now. No, it's private sector investment. Yeah. Yes, please.
Hi. I was wondering if you could comment upon the issue of property rights in Africa and in Sierra Leone, and what policies the
property rights?
Property rights, so the issue surrounding them, and the issue of investment subsequently, if we will not be sure of profits being gained from certain business ventures.
Can you be specific when you say property rights? You're referring to business property, intellectual property, all those sorts of things?
Of land.
Of land?
And of shipping and
yeah, the land, our land tenure system is one that will refer to as anachronistic, or what it's out of date, and that has been discouraging business, big-time investors in that area. So now government is seriously considering a discussion on what should I say, in reforming our land tenure system, wherein private people will sort of go and own land for big-time investment. Because as it is, we have a sort of a dual land tenure system, the one that is in the western area and the one that has to do with the provinces. That system is one that is left to us by the British. People have right to own land in Freetown, but indigents from Freetown are not entitled to own land in the provinces, and investors are not supposed to own land, you understand? But all that is being looked into so that people will have the right to go and make big, long leases agreements for investment in agricultural area or any other thing. So that is being looked at. Again, in terms of your capital investment and profit, it's so flexible. You invest in Sierra Leone, you can take as much money as you want, as long as the money goes through the official channel. And you can export as much as you have in your profit back to your country, as long as it goes through the legal channel. The issue is genuine business people. Most business people we know are afraid to go through official channel because they want to dodge taxes. That is one thing that we are frowning at, and the government frowns at that. But otherwise, you have right to your profits, whatever you do with your profits, as long as you pay the requisite taxes, you are free to do whatever you want to do with your investment. It's a country that has two dominant tribes. One coming from the northern part, the Timnis, and you have the Mendis from the southeastern part. And you have some other tribes, but those are the two dominant tribes. And they are the two tribes that compete for political power, I would say. There is really strict competition among them. Otherwise, I would say there is not so much thing of that sort. We only experience tribal issues when elections approaches. That is when people will start talking about this tribe or that tribe. That man is coming from the south, that man is coming from the north. Otherwise, after elections, it's like people just live normally. However, it's something that successive governments have noted that, in fact, if not handled properly, it will degenerate into another thing that will not be pleasant for us. But we are all very much aware of that, and issues are being done to address it from both the local level and at national political level, by ensuring that we have an inclusiveness in governance. That when you have each and every tribe participating in the governance architecture, you know you will address the concern of one tribe being marginalized. But as it is, naturally, people want it all. So it's very difficult for you to have what you will say, and people say that everything is normal when it comes to tribal, the role of tribal thing in governance. Your next question is the focus of development, you say?
Yeah, what is
The concentration now, well, when the current president, when he assumed office, he delivered what he called the agenda for change. He prioritized areas to which he will focus his government. Topmost among them is energy and infrastructure. You know, he believes that with a very strong base of energy, that will help. It's the engine of growth. Energy will sort of help investment. We want to add value into our raw materials. I don't know, we just don't want to be exporting the raw material as they are. We don't gain much. With energy, we know they can do a smelting business there. It will create job opportunities. We want to be polishing our diamonds. We want to do the gold smelting, all those sorts of things. So his focus is on that. And again, the next one on infrastructure, the road network is appalling. So there is this focus in ensuring that we have better roads that will link up all the provincial districts and the agricultural and mining areas. Once that is done, we believe that it will reduce to some extent the poverty, because we'll have food coming down from the farms, because most of the food are wasted because there is no transportation to bring them down to where people want them. They get rot along the road because the roads are bad. Vehicles are not available to go down there to collect them. After that, the other one is agriculture. The focus is to encourage big-time investors to do investment in agriculture, because we believe if we can produce what we eat, we'll be able to save a big chunk of the foreign exchange that we send to Asia to buy rice. In the early 70s, Sierra Leone used to export rice. But unfortunately today, about 80 or 90% of what we consume is being imported. That is not good for a young economy. We want to ensure that we do that. Tourism is also another area. But in terms of the priority, it cascades down as I've identified energy, infrastructure, agriculture, health, you know, that kind of thing. It's like you are a little behind time. The crisis in Ivory Coast, I believe, is settled, and there is stability there. In the region, particularly the Mano River Union Basin, that is the countries Guinea, Liberia, and Sierra Leone. It's very, very stable, as I said. It's just last year we experienced a smooth change of government in Guinea. We saw in Liberia there was an election, peaceful one it ended. We are expecting our election in Sierra Leone in November, to which we believe it will just be a continuation of what we had experienced in the past 2 elections. Relatively, I would say, as compared to other areas, I think Sierra Leone and its immediate neighbors is very safe, stable politically, and it's signs of good things to come. Yep. Any more? If there are none, can I say a big thank you for your patience in watching the film. Thank you. I will now invite my compatriots to treat you to some cultural